This is actually take two, if you're tuning into the video. We did a take earlier, right, using Skype. I'm Dennis, by the way.
I'm Pigpen.
Yeah, and we're quarantined, and we're trying to deliver a show via video like we do every week. And we tried to record it inside of Skype, and it didn't work out. All right. So, but we kept the audio because it was timed out perfectly, and it wasn't bad. We talked about how we're dealing with this, how everybody's dealing with this, and come up with some ideas. Specifically, like my favorite idea was the bands that are normally doing covers should like write something right now for us people out here that always wanted to hear them do an original, right?
Absolutely.
But that was like a 20-minute version of that you can get at AltonDailyNews.com at the podcast. Thanks to our sponsors, Matt Van Morris of Macias Insurance and Halpin Music Company. They're the reason that goes up. So, and on the radio. But we do the video as well, and now we're doing the video via Skype, and we're hoping it's recorded. So that's all we got, except for you can introduce our guest.
This week, we're going to talk to a band called Tiger Country. Some of the guys you've already met from other bands in the area, but they've come together with this super group, we'll call it. So we're going to introduce you to Tiger Country. Don't have a lot of gigs to talk about with them. We may mention the Trinity River Fest, which may or may not happen with the quarantine. Hopefully it will. But we're going to talk to them about recording their new album at Lighthouse Studio, their debut album. So there you go, Tiger Country.
Yeah, so we had like a 41-minute audio track that wasn't exactly what we thought it was, and we're hoping to be able to put one of their songs on that podcast we talked about that we recorded. So don't hold us to that, though. Who knows with this email what could happen. Email is very confusing these days. Don't take it seriously.
I'm confused right now. Hello, Dennis, is that you? It looks like your picture's moving.
Yeah. So, all right, man. Thanks for tuning in to Riverbend Talent. And now off to the best part of the show, Tiger Country. More Riverbend Talent brought to you by Halpin Music Company and Mr. Matt Van Voorhis of Macias Insurance.
Thanks for the insurance. And thanks for all the instruments, Halpin. We're sitting in the studio with Tiger Country. Now, Tiger Country's a band nobody out there has heard of yet because they haven't played yet, right? Not a gig yet?
Correct.
All right, so we're going to, all these people should be very familiar to those of you who listen to the show. So we're going to go around the room and do a few introductions here. We've got Mr. Matt Stewart.
Hey, how's it going?
You just raise your hand.
That's only for the YouTube. Matt, you would know as the drummer from Crazy Chester if you were listening to the band Crazy Chester back in the day. Right next to him, we got Lance Griggs, who is the singer of Crazy Chester.
Hello.
And now with Tiger Country also, another Crazy Chester guy, amazing. We got Mikey Lowenstein.
Hiya, friends.
Also of the fame of Hookie. Mm-hmm. Hookie, as I like to call him. Hookie! Hookie Monster! Anyway.
Marketing idea right there. For free.
Marketing idea. Right next to me, Mr. Aaron McCoy, more affectionately known as Chili.
Hello.
And Chili, you started off as the drummer of Hookie. And then you left him and went to Texas because you thought he was going to hook up with Stevie Ray Vaughan. You found out when you got down there that he was deceased for many years.
But
so
I
you
hooked up
came
with
back.
his sister. You know what I'm saying?
No, we don't.
He didn't have a sister. He had a little brother. She was cute. I'll give you that. And his name is Janie. I don't know. Anyway, right next to Mr. Aaron McCoy, we have Cody Hale, who you might remember from the band Polyshades.
Howdy. And a brief Crazy Chester member.
Yeah,
very brief.
For like, it was a short stint.
I would say like 4 or 5 months, maybe.
Yeah, I don't remember that now.
Aaron's the
He was like the
Were you
guitar
ever
player
in
from the
Crazy
Chili Peppers?
Chester Scrap?
No, but I did the
Are
crazy.
you Scrap on this show or
I'm
Sean
Pigpen.
or
My
what?
name's shut up. My name's
Pigpen.
Pigpen. I'm Pigpen. No, I was not a member of
I
Crazy
was not
Chester. I
either.
did their set breaks. I was the set break guy.
And helped with
Yeah,
that.
you were basically a member. Some
Separate
level.
Scrappy.
So Tiger Country. Now, it's quite a few of the same members, but this project was kicked off by Matt, right?
Kind of. So Lance and I were actually talking earlier about this. So after Crazy Chester kind of stopped, there's probably about 3 years or so where...
Wait, we stopped?
Yes.
You're still on hiatus. You're still on hiatus, don't worry.
Still just waiting for practice.
You are. You're on hiatus. Trust me.
But anyway, Lance and I had been in touch, and we'd talk about putting something together where it'd be like whether a cover type thing or an original. And as we went along, we'd act like we want to get together, then we'd kind of fall apart. A month or two would go by, we'd catch up. And then apparently he was talking to Aaron at the same time when he was in Texas. And Aaron was talking about trying to do a similar thing, like just getting together and writing music or playing music or something. So Lance was kind of the middleman in that. So us three kind of started it out. And it kind of started out as just, I'd been sitting on some songs. We decided to kind of go the original route. So there was a couple things that were, fairly not polished, but far along, but there was a lot of just ideas at that point. So we got together, started jamming a little bit, started like kind of finessing things and Frankensteining things and putting it together to kind of see, because it's really tough because you don't know what you're going to sound like necessarily. So that process kind of went along, and a couple months into it, my wife got pregnant, so it was a great time. It was just like a crazy time because I really wanted to push through with the original stuff. But it was just funny, like the timing of all of that. Like, of course, go for it, right? When I'm just going to be like not sleeping, taking care of another kid. So it was just another level of like things going on and stress, and so there was a lot of like ups and downs as far as us getting together. Then there'd be a couple months of a break, and it was about like last summer going into the fall. We changed kind of the philosophy of how we were doing it. It went from more of like a live jam practice into more of like a writing project with like demoing everything out. So that kind of slowly developed, and I was able to work on it at home, and then I was able to kind of work with everyone individually, and most of the songs we already had at least the structure kind of there from the time we were jamming and getting that stuff together. But the demo process was kind of what took it from being like this thing we were doing to this thing that we're doing now. Like this thing that like...
Yeah, it was potentially fizzling out without that process.
That kicked it back into gear because, and people that, so many musicians tune into this, and I'm sure there's some non-musicians listening too, but when you're writing a song and you're not getting together week after week and it's different ideas, the ideas change week to week, so the song changes, and it never solidifies as a song until you start a demo. Until you start
create a baseline at least.
Yeah.
And I think that's what... It's what definitely helped our situation of not having to meet up as much. Because we
haven't stood in the same room since
2018
to play music.
This is the first time we've all been in the same room for like a year.
Yeah.
Except for maybe once at the recording studio.
Once in the studio.
And we're first time in. We're done tracking, by the way. We were never all there. Maybe one time for drums, I think.
Yeah. Well, when you record and you're tracking it, and once you get the drums and the bass down, come on, man. Everyone else is just icing anyway.
Yeah.
I'm trying to give you props.
Thanks, man. Well, Mikey and I were finished the first day, and seems like it was a year ago.
Yeah, that was mid-November.
Yeah.
So, yeah, go ahead.
And I was going to say, Matt did an awesome job of like creating kind of a skeleton of what we were going to go off of. And then when we got into the studio, we were able to just kind of like peel layer back one by one and then even add more to it. So, Matt did a great job with pre-production and making it kind of easy on everyone.
Good job, Matt. Round of applause.
Yeah, round of applause,
Good
Matt.
job, Matt. Yeah.
Louder.
You saved us a lot of money in the studio.
Yeah.
Well, it basically what it came down to for me, and I think for all of us, I'd been away from music for a while, and it was just one of those things that it was a regret I didn't want to live with, and that's like what I kept saying. And so it was like all of those kind of roadblocks or things that, for all of it, it's like, it's work. to get it to a point where you're like happy with it. So I didn't want to have that regret, you know. That's why it was like, well, let's just go in the studio. Like let's just pull the trigger and do it. And now it's the clock's ticking, you know. I think it's good to like, you know, give yourself a goal, but somewhat of an attainable goal, but also kind of scary goal.
A deadline.
A lot of us haven't been in the studio, like outside of Cody and Mikey, like in a long time. And the last time I was in it was like high school. So like the stuff I was writing was, you know, it helped me understand how it works from a broad perspective, and maybe kind of what to expect. But like, I feel like my brain now compared to when I was 15 years old is like matured in a way where like my songwriting and everything is obviously, in the way I look at the studio and think about music in general, it's totally different. So
I retained my 15-year-old brain. Just
but we gave ourselves like that intimidating kind of like, well, we're gonna do it, and it was like a level of acceptance too, of like, quit tinkering. It's time to just do it, and like all the things we don't have figured out. We know when we're gonna book again, so we got to figure it out before then, you know. But fortunately, because of the demos, we had something to fall back on at least. Right. So it led us kind of, while we were in the studio. We didn't stray too far, but there was opportunities where we could kind of experiment a little more.
We should probably mention what studio it is and like who we're working with and stuff.
Yeah. So Alex St. Sen has been awesome. He's from, obviously, we all are familiar with him, and you guys probably are too. So he runs Lighthouse Sounds. Yeah. They do a great job. The facility is awesome. It's definitely very inviting, and it took away, I don't know, I could see how you could be intimidated by it because it feels legit, but it's also like very inviting in a sense to where we, especially like the way he handled like dealing with us. He knew Cody fairly well. It just seemed like we were already, you know, friends with him, and it made like those awkward moments of listening to your voice back solo with 8 other people in the room, and you're like, and you know you screwed it up, and just talking through like those moments, like it made those a lot easier to deal with, you know. And I think, you know, me with having a ton of experience of what other studios are out there, I mean, I know I have a little bit of knowledge, but this is my first go at it, really.
The first day in the studio before I started doing drum tracks, a rapper came out of Studio B, and he's like, "Hey, you guys have any blunt papers?" I'm like, "All right, that's cool."
I feel at home, man.
This is my kind of place.
Yeah. Well, you know, I think a good studio, especially working with like that level of people paying to come in. This isn't Hollywood. This isn't Nashville. This isn't, you know, you don't have Warner Brothers behind you putting $1 million out for this record. I would think a studio needs to be warm. It needs to be inviting. It needs to be comfortable. It's not, hey, you're a professional, record your damn record.
Yeah.
You know, and we hear that over and over from people about the local studios, and you know, Lighthouse being the main one, but how, you know, the people are always gentle. They're not harsh, which is good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, Alex, I know for sure is a musician as well, so he kind of understands that, you know, you can get stuck in a rut, and he's gonna, you know, be there to help you through it. You know, he's gonna be a second set of ears. He's not just there to get paid by any means. He's there to help for sure.
Yeah.
And he has streamlined and honed his craft so well that, you know, going in with this project, even being just kind of a puzzle that we're putting together, he made it seem like super easy.
Yeah. He's just a rad dude. And the studio, like the main Studio A big room, is one of the most comfortable rooms I've ever been in.
Yeah, that's
like,
a nice room.
I just wanted to move in there. It was great.
Yeah. Put a couch in there. A hideaway.
Couches in
I want a hideaway just for me.
Like at one point on the last day, Drew came in and woke me up in the back room. So I was
the day where you were feeling it.
Yeah.
Remember that?
But I was comfortable enough there to fall asleep, even with all these guys around.
That says something.
Yeah.
I was gonna say too that I think what's nice and what you kind of need, in like local studios like that is he offers like basically somewhat of a producer role too. Yeah. You know, we're kind of looking out for ourselves, obviously, and because of that, you know, it's not like we're not living in Nashville at these major studios, like there's a nice like scrappy nature, no pun intended, to like local music and local businesses like that. You know, like everyone has that. Like we're that way, and we demoed the stuff out because we wanted to go in there with something solid and hoping that we can achieve even something better than that.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, Alex being in a local band too, you know, he feels that, and you definitely feel, you know, you're all on the same team together in a way.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, it's more like looking out for each other than it is anything else, really. Yeah. So
nice.
That, going back to the original thing, like, you know, that producer role, it's another set of ears for us, and like especially for me, and I'm sure I can speak for Lance and probably Aaron at least. You know, that intimidating thing of like, all right, this is the real tape, like, or you know, like it's one thing when you can mess around with it on a laptop at your house, and you're like, for hours if you want.
Yeah, all day.
When you go in there and you're like, then all of a sudden your hands are cramped up, and you're like, it's just one of those things like when the light goes on,
I've got to play.
People change, yeah, and it's like, just calming yourself down to find that
BB up there, it's just tight as could be.
Oh, dude, I broke a stick, and we have it on record. Like,
yeah,
we have.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
We recorded it. Yeah.
I think it was the last take of the last song.
It's on
There Will Be Blood.
Yeah.
No, it was Deep Field.
Deep Field.
Yeah.
It was right at the end of the song.
So before you guys, you did the demo to help get ready to go in and track them all out. But you said originally it started with just a handful of songs that you had pretty much wrote. What rounded out the rest of the album? Was it you wrote more songs, or did you guys write them as a group toward the end, or?
We kind of worked out some parts as each member kind of came into it. There were other members too that aren't here anymore that didn't get in the recording as well.
They're still alive.
It didn't sound like it the way he said it. I was like, oh, I'm sorry.
Actually, there's probably 12 or 13 songs that we could have tried to work on.
Yeah, it was originally going to be a 10-track album.
Yeah.
And
it would have been 3 hours long.
And it would have came out in 2030.
What's the shortest song on this project? Like just under 5 minutes?
Yeah. Yeah, our opening track's 7 minutes long, so
Perfect.
you know that's the formula, right? To like have a 7-minute song to lead.
Well, that's all the radio stations want.
Yeah.
10 minutes.
I'm pretty sure the
12-minute
acoustic
songs.
guitar is by itself for like 30 seconds.
Listen to Pink Floyd's Echoes, 23 minutes and
Yeah.
28 seconds of genius. I don't care what anyone
Well,
says.
and you know what? We had a conversation about paring the songs back, or like it was. We all realized at some point that these songs are kind of long. You know, like at least most of them. And some of them we trimmed down, but after a while, just sitting with it for whatever reason, like at least me specifically, I was like, I was thinking about paring it back just for the idea of that's the way it should be.
Nah, wrong.
You know,
Wrong.
and that's like, you know, and we had talked that through, but we didn't really make any decisions with it. And like the more I sat on it and stuff too, it's like, that's so stupid. Like, who cares? Like it starts to lose authenticity, I think. And that's what I hope we can push through with
Dude,
these
those
recordings.
songs are that length because that's how long we wanted to jam the tunes and we were jamming them. Which makes them the
It's
perfect
not just that.
amount.
There are multiple
of time.
parts. And
The amount of
Yeah.
elements that we want to put
The
on
detail.
this, you
Yeah.
need space.
Yeah.
And, you know, a Miles Davis or a Coltrane track wasn't done in 3 minutes, you know. To produce this type of music, you need space.
That's
right.
Well,
And-
just
and
realize
if
there's a niche for everything. So like, just own it.
Well,
in
and
a
if you
sense.
really want to write songs that are going to get on the radio, you write one song that's 1 second, then one that's 2, then one. DJs are always needing to fill time, and they will grab those short songs and fill time. I mean, if you're just trying to get on the radio,
Yeah.
Just one good note.
Right.
Well, it is funny just that idea that gets ingrained in your head about, well, this is how it should be. Like, you know,
It's
it
a
crosses,
mathematical equation.
it crosses into your like head, but then at the same time, I think it's healthy to ask yourself that, or ask other people to see, because I think sometimes you get too close to stuff as well, and it's like
Yeah,
hard
like
to
you.
step. Yeah, and
I
it's
got
hard.
too
It's hard to
close to
step
you right
away
now.
and really.
You ever
know
heard of the
what
Sandwich Brothers?
what the quality really is, you know.
He's drunk.
Nope, that's just Aaron.
So you guys, so after the songs came together and were written, you went in and drums and bass were laid as the skeleton to start building off of it.
Well, our
the arrangements?
demos were the skeleton.
Yeah, for sure. The demo.
We put the meat on the bones. So it was like taking the puzzle apart and putting different pieces
in, right,
that
right.
fit.
Yeah.
So you went in with the demo and basically relayed your tracks to the demo.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
like a click
exactly.
track.
There you
The
go.
demos
Nice,
were
nice.
made so
Perfect.
precisely that we were recording 20 minutes after we got to the studio.
Saint Sin was able to be like, okay, this is all on a click, even bringing it into Pro Tools.
He clicked it
Matt,
out.
Matt had it all
He clicked
lined
it
up
out.
perfectly.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Matt did some serious work on the demos.
Yeah, well,
We all
that-
did.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it was great
I mean-
because we were never in the same room. Yeah, maybe a couple guys
I mean,
at once.
I've never even met these guys.
I actually never
We
even
actually
met
met
up
on-
with Matt. I got the track
Yeah, that's right.
through email.
Yeah.
I recorded them up in 600, and I sent them back to him. And,
Wow.
and then we got
Yeah, like I said, we haven't stood
And it
in the
was
same
sweet in
room
the
and played
studio.
music since I think early December 2018 was the last time we all actually jammed together.
But every note that I played on the demo and in the studio, Matt was sitting right there watching me.
Yeah.
No hi-hat! I want the hi-hat!
I'm tired of sitting here.
That's not my tempo.
Nice. You look like a creepy guy that came up to me in Chicago and harassing me up at Wrigley Field, man.
We need to get.
I know you guys ran into him at.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. It was
Ran into me.
well. I mean, it was at Wrigley Field. Where it's right before like the encore, and we're trying to make our like me and my father-in-law go to every concert together, and we're also like, you know, at our souls are like 200 years old. So like by the time the encore's getting ready to start, we're already.
You want to
heading
be
towards
at the door when
We're
it's
beating
over.
the crowd. We want to
Yeah.
get in the, you know, we're just like get home at a decent time kind
You're
of thing.
old.
You've never
Well,
seen
I have an old soul in that regard, right? So we're walking around that way, and we're just standing back because we want to kind of watch the last song. I look over, and I mean, if anyone sees Scrappy from behind,
Hey, now.
Big Ben, right?
Big Ben. And if you see me from behind, it looks good.
it does. Well, that's what I'm saying. It was like a magnet that just. But anyway, I look and I see like this little. I see the the bald cap, and then the braid. I'm like, I know exactly who that guy is.
Rapunzel.
So you're an old soul, so you were
Yeah.
heading toward the door. I'm an old soul. You want to know what I did after that show? I went to the nearest bar, got some popcorn and beer, and then caught 2 trains to an after party that lasted till 4 a.m. Neil Casal, Circles Around the Sun.
Oh,
Amazing
nice.
show, yeah.
That was one of his.
It was
last,
one of his
No,
last shows.
that's not.
crazy.
You're old, but that's not an old soul.
Yeah,
You're just
I'm just
older.
old. I'm
It's
just
just
an old
worse. Yeah,
body.
we're just the
I'm just
opposite.
old- I'm just an old body.
That's awesome, though. I didn't really follow a lot of his solo stuff, but when he played with Ryan Adams and the Cardinals,
And
that was
Chris Robinson Brotherhood, and he did
great.
he did the whole Circles Around the Sun. The Grateful Dead asked him to make an album to play at their 50 year when they played up there for their 50-year reunion for the set break. So he made an album for that.
for
and then
that specifically?
For that specifically, and they played it all 3 days, and
That's
he
awesome.
toured on that.
that's great.
Yeah, he was an amazing player. So may he rest in chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so. You take the demo in, you start building, like as you say, you put it perfectly, taking pieces of the puzzle out and replacing them with new pieces. So you take the bass out and replace it, take the drums out and replace it. Now, you guys, you're doing lap steel and harmonica. How did you, like, what comes next? Vocals and guitar? Or
guitar?
Guitar. We had 2 sessions for guitar.
I'm the worst person to be in the studio with guitar. I'm meticulous about the tone, and
He's still
Well, that's-
rewriting.
I'm still rewriting.
There's one part that we're
Yeah,
gonna,
just one part, but it is what it is.
Well, you guys killed it. That makes me think that I should have tried harder or something.
no,
like,
Aaron,
okay, I'm
Aaron, you did a
done.
great job.
I had a
Let's go
regret.
chill.
I didn't focus enough on tone, and that was killing me the whole time. But that's where Alex steps in, and he really made it sound great.
I mean, because he grabs cab mic tracks, DI tracks, so he's kind of a wizard in the realm of multi-tracking. At this point, he really has, like, that all down to a science. So he is grabbing multiple references of whatever instrument he is recording at any time.
It just covers himself.
Yeah, then you can layer it. Yeah, you can pick whichever one works best. You can layer them over each other. You know. All that stuff. So anyway, from the writing into the tracking. Now let's talk about these auxiliary tracks. What are we talking about here? Everybody's all excited about auxiliary tracks.
This is the icing on the cakes. I was shocked at how good it turned out.
Yeah, so we brought in some outside guys.
Brought
I had like two small
I don't
parts,
even think of them
just
as
the
outside
harmonica and the
guys.
lap steel, but they're talking about the outside guys that
weird-
aren't in the quote
Okay, so
band.
say who they are first.
Yeah, it's Drew Meadows, who played keys in Polyshades, and Nathan Luck, who played guitar and sang and played trumpet in Polyshades as well. And then also John, I don't know your last name, John, but you played in the Blue Meanies.
He was in the Blue Meanies.
Yeah, you played in the Blue
Are you
Meanies.
kidding me?
And the weird conversation about this is like we say Lance is auxiliary, but Lance has been playing with Matt longer than I have with this project, so like his stuff shouldn't be considered auxiliary. Like I think you're a main songwriter, personally. Like,
I don't think it's his songwriting or his playing. It's his personality that makes him
oh, is that what
auxiliary.
it is?
Well,
Captain Poops a lot. That's what we call him. He's affectionately known as around my house.
Oh,
Here we
my
go.
God.
His daughter was like 2, and she named me that.
Captain Poops a lot. She's a weird girl. Okay, whatever.
You know, okay, side note, I've known you two, Lance and Scrap, or Pigpen or whatever you
Opal.
are.
You can call me Opal.
Longer than anybody else like around here that I know.
That's right. When me
Especially
and Aaron
Lance.
lived 3 doors down.
Yeah. Not the
Dude,
big, we were in the band 3
whatever.
doors down.
No, you guys suck.
It was a different amount of doors, all right? It was not.
It might have been 4.
Yeah.
It's just
Actually, I
a
think it
number.
was 2.
3 gates down.
He was my first crush.
Saw that band come out, cover band. These guys.
3 gates up.
Said a bunch of people.
No, 3 gates.
You never get over the first.
That's right.
Anyway.
Sorry, I didn't mean to
So
do
the
that.
auxiliary, you got the horns coming in. Let's get back on track.
So I guess to back up a little bit. So yeah, we did bass and drums. We did
Guitar.
couple sessions, and we're doing like 1 or 2 sessions a month. So this has been almost like a 6-month process.
Right.
Wow, it don't seem like it.
By the time we're all done with it, it'll be about that. So it took a couple sessions for guitar, and then we went into vocals, and I had like 3 sessions for vocals because that was the one thing I was terrified of. Because the thing is, with the demos, I was also recording vocals at different times, right? Like,
Right.
I'm working on just one song for like a week
Record
or
those
2.
in your car.
Yeah, so I have 2 young kids, right? Like I've got a 4-year-old and the baby. So I can't like be a
Belting
rock
it
star.
out,
I have to be
yeah.
like a dad rock star. So I have to take I'm in the laptop in my garage inside of my car with the microphone, headphones.
Car wasn't running.
My external hard drive, my interface.
You got the door closed. I can't take it no more. If I don't finish this song, I'm just done.
But yeah, like so.
Yeah, dad rock star
Dad
mode there.
yeah,
There you
maybe
go.
that's the genre, dad rock.
So now how many songs ended up on the whole thing?
5.
5
Altogether.
songs, and how many? How
Potentially
long is
6,
it?
if we
5 and a
cut 'em
half.
up. Yeah.
We'll say 5 and a half.
I mean, I think we can call it 6.
But yeah, so basically 6 is what I think we're going to end up chopping it to. But for a while we had kind of 2 arrangements as one song.
Now, have you got all the artwork done for it, ready for all that, or you still got all that to go next?
So
Me neither.
I'm an art director for a career, so I do graphic design
you
like
go.
professionally. So I had that stuff queued up. Yeah, like the whole idea is I could spend like 5 hours talking about like the grand scheme of
You got 5 hours.
band name
Nah.
to like to kind of like what the songs ended up kind of being about, and that and the artwork that kind of all intertwines kind of along the same message.
They're all about taint hickeys, and the art kind of
I
correlates
love it.
with that.
Man,
Yeah.
now we're on to something. You know, there aren't enough songs. There's just, anyway.
Did you say taint hickey?
Now I got to edit 2 of them. Thanks.
Watch it, guys.
And by the way, I've already got patent pending on that band name.
You cannot legally say that.
You cannot legally say that without paying me.
We just decided what the album is going to be called. Dark Side of the Moon.
Yeah, we found that out like
But DA.
DA.
Dumb Moon.
get it. It's different enough.
Just different.
And then I even
just
threw out
enough.
Dark Side of Jupiter's Moon.
Yeah.
It's a little harder to say. Doesn't roll off the tongue as well, but
The Dark Side of Noon.
there you go.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
it's-
just trying to help here, guys. Just trying to help.
It's okay.
Hey, we'll take all we can get.
Better than his ideas.
The Tank Hickeys?
I know 3 of them I got to edit. You just keep going.
When you edit, do you beep? Can we cuss?
No.
Oh.
You're making this hard on me.
Yeah.
You already did that?
Anyway, all right. So there you go. So Tiger Country. When can we expect the album out? That's the big thing. Everybody's been waiting to hear since we started talking.
So I've been talking to Alex. Basically, we're into the mixing stage now. We've got one small part to track, but here pretty soon we'll be into mixing, and most of March we'll be mixing, and we're in the process of figuring out who's going to master it after it. So I would say May-ish is kind of what I feel it's going to be, but if something obviously along the way hangs it up, it could delay it slightly. But if everything goes according to plan, I would think like late spring, early summer.
Or it could be a week.
Yeah.
never know.
Or it could be
With
right
this
now.
band, you're just,
We're hoping to sell out all the albums
WPGC
at
exclusive.
Trinity Fest.
Oh yeah. All right. So you guys on the lineup for Trinity Fest then? And
Yeah.
which day are you? Saturday?
I believe Friday.
Friday. Okay.
Are
Fine.
we
Yeah,
playing
whatever day
Trinity
Hookie
Fest
is.
Yes.
Yeah, Friday.
Yeah, so right now we're kind of doing all that stuff, right? Like getting the artwork together, kind of putting those pieces together, getting these accounts set up, figuring out how we're going to distribute all of it, thinking about all that stuff. And then the Trinity Fest thing came up as an opportunity. And we wanted to jump on it just to give us kind of another kick.
Another goal.
Now you've got to get in the same room and figure out.
Yeah,
how to put it
exactly.
together.
So that's
We got to be able to
putting
play
it
what
into-
we've recorded.
And the thing is like it's
learn
you know
like a cover.
it's gonna
That stresses me out.
Yeah, it's
Learn like a cover once you got the album.
Well,
I made sure to make all the bass lines easy.
well,
fits. I mainly do fits.
The drums aren't extremely difficult, but the vocals on this record are very
yeah, it's gonna be the hardest
deep
part
and
for sure.
complicated. Yeah.
Yeah, so good luck guys.
Yeah.
Outside of
So
He
good.
did like the MIDI 5-10 keys at the same time, harmonies, and then we just have to match that. It's no big deal.
No problem.
That doesn't sound that hard. Matching. Yeah, this
It's
is
pretty easy, really.
Yeah.
And they go about like 35 seconds per
Yeah,
note.
each note is 35 seconds.
Okay, so take a breath. Jeez, what's with the crying with these guys? You should find a less whiny band.
Yeah.
It
Right.
sounds like you put these guys through the ringer with this.
Well,
actually.
the funny thing is like we're probably gonna be rusty out of the gate, like getting it together for a live situation. But we laugh in the studio too because I personally had the idea, the thought like that it doesn't matter what the end result is for the actual album. Meaning, let's just do whatever's the coolest, and we'll figure out how to play that live or not
Right.
later.
Yeah. Make the album.
but we
as
were
good as
all
you
on.
can
We're
make
gonna
it.
do our
Yeah,
cover.
exactly.
We're gonna do
Hey.
our cover version of our song.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you guys
like-
actually know an oboe player?
Yeah, I know.
But,
Call
yeah,
him.
it's-
We have a show in a month.
we joke about being like a indie Slipknot kind of situation. There's like 10 of us on stage
right.
when we go to
George Clinton.
yeah.
Anytime you want to break, someone just walks off stage. They're not missed. There's too
Yeah.
many people on stage to miss any one person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you and Bash are both in the band. That's actually really why we're here.
Yeah, we need more members.
Can
Anyway.
I just hula hoop or something on the side?
Yeah,
I got a
please.
cute outfit.
Are you sure? It's $11 a night.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait.
Yeah.
I stand to make dozens of dollars here.
Very lucrative.
12
with
bucks.
Tiger
So is there any way, if people between now and Trinity River Fest, which could possibly be their first chance to get the CD if they get out by then, but is there any way people can keep up with you and see what's going on between now and then? You got a Facebook,
Yeah,
website.
we are on the internets.
the internets.
We have a Facebook page, and most of the action's on Instagram, tiger.country.
You guys are so young and hip.
Well, not really, right? Like, I want to be like
Instagram. It's young and hip, isn't it?
yeah.
That's Lance Gregg's phone going off right now. First radio interview.
Spam risk.
Mine says
That's the album title, Spam Risk.
Mine says spam likely. So
Wow.
I got the
Mine
safety
says
on.
fried spam.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, I don't know what mine
Spamwich.
says. Yeah, spamwich.
Spamwich band.
Are we in Hawaii?
There you go.
Is this Hawaii?
Oh, hey, Bash is here.
Yeah.
Here he is. Is that mic on?
Hi, Bash.
Goodbye.
You have an alternative name too.
I do. No one knows it.
So he's Dennis, and I'm Pigpen, and this is Tiger Country, and we've been talking for the past half an hour or so. All you guys have known you for a long time. Glad to see you getting together on a project that sounds this cool. I actually got to hear it. It is pretty cool. Like Pink Floyd, check it out. I'm a Pink Floyd freak myself.
Yeah.
But
Side
that's
of
why
the
when you
Moon.
said long songs, I'm like, they're really not that long, man. Because 20-minute songs don't bother me.
You're a pothead, bro.
Well, and that's I think we just had to once again realize that
It's legal, man.
It's crazy, man.
Go to the store, HCI.
You gotta be able to use
Yeah,
any
yeah.
of this
Twice.
at
I
all.
left empty-handed both times.
2-hour wait.
Yeah.
Nope, I drive straight up. I get a parking spot right up front.
Yes,
I
On
walk
Mondays,
in.
right? On Mondays?
No, I got a card. I got a
bring me,
medical
dude.
card.
I
I
got
go,
a
Yeah, you go on
Card.
Mondays, there's no wait.
I go any day. They have to put me in front of everybody for having that doesn't have a medical card. That's
That's how
the
it should be.
rules.
That's how it should be.
I'm handicapped. It should be that way. Anyway, yeah. So
When I need weed or meth, I just go to Scrap's house.
I don't know who that is because I'm Big Man. So I really want to thank Tiger Country for coming in before this completely goes anywhere worse than where it already is. Thanks so much. We got Aaron McCoy, Cody Hale, Matt Stewart, Lance Griggs, Mikey Lowenstein, and all you auxiliary players out there. Pat on the back to you guys too.
all 20 of you.
All 20 of you. So hey, congratulations on accomplishing the feat of making an album without ever jamming together.
It was tough. It was tough.
That's an amazing feat, and look forward to seeing you at Trinity River Fest, if not before.
Scrap and Bash, we love you guys.
He said, Dennis and Pigpen, we
Dennis
love
and
you guys.
Pigpen, we love you guys.
There we go. All right.
No
Thanks so
Sandwich
much.
Brothers.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
More Riverbend Talent after this.
You're listening to Riverbend Talent, brought to you by Halpin Music Company and Mr. Matt Van Voorhis of Macias Insurance.